Right. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, Dave Danley from McShane. We are your third-party administrator if you're a full-timer in the UPS plan. I see a lot of twins hats here. I was told there'd be some group therapy for us after the game last night. So it's tough. Yes. Yes. Again, third-party administrator, what that means, hopefully most of you guys know at least Will McShane's name. You might not know me. But we receive all the contributions from UPS on a weekly basis. We get your eligibility. We then send that eligibility off to all the different health vendors. That's Blue Cross, Blue Shield, VSP, Optum for your pharmacy, and Delta Dental for your dental insurance. We also pay all the claims. So anytime you guys go to the doctor's office or the hospital have that, or the dentist's office, that claim comes to Wilson McShane after it routes through Blue Cross to get that discount. All right, so staying in Blue Cross's network is huge for us. Wilson McShane's headquartered right down by the Mall of America. If you ever want to come in and see us, please do that. You can call us, you can go online, you can handle it that way. We've got a dedicated team that works just for 638. We also have a website. I think every guy before me's got a website too. TeamstersLocal638health.com. If you haven't been there, it's a good resource for you. You can see all your contributions coming in, look at your eligibility, the plan document, and the summary plan description that describes all of your benefits are out there, and a lot of the forms that we talk about. Have you guys been out to the website? Raise your hands. No? Maybe it's not that good. Write it down. Seriously, write it down. And Trevor, maybe I'll send this to Trevor, so if you guys want to get a copy of my whole presentation, just do it that way. But there is good stuff, good information for you. This is what it looks like when you log in. Man, that guy looks happy. He just got his pension, didn't he? So it's a new user registration. I know sometimes, my folks and people a little bit older, they don't like doing all this stuff. It's really easy, guys, I'm telling you. It's going to take not a lot of time to do this. We just want to make sure you are who you say you are before you log in with all the information. Back row can't see this. Hell, the front row probably can't see this one either. But what it's showing you here are the contributions coming in. And then down below here are the various resources. Your plan documents, your forms. Sure. No, but if you need temporary ID cards, you can call Wilson McShane and we can email them to you. Yep. All right, so the big question is, I'm getting ready to retire. Am I eligible? Right? That's the biggest question. So different than team care, we got different rules here. So if you're the full-timer, here's the rules. One, you got to be collecting a pension from either Central States or from UPS. And you're going to demonstrate that to Wilson McShane by an award letter. So when you get affirmatively confirmed that you're going to retire and collect a benefit, they will issue you, it's called an award letter. You're going to need to send that to Wilson McShane. All right, that's step one. Step two is you got to make your self-payment before the month of coverage. So when you're looking to be covered on, where are we at here, on November 1, we have to have your payment for that monthly coverage before November 1. Makes sense. Now here's our requirements from an age and a service standpoint. So if you're going to retire younger than age 55, all right, the earliest you can go is age 50. If you go between 50 and 54, you need to have 20 years of coverage with UPS or just in the fund in general. If you retire at age 55 or later, there's no service requirement. You just need to be eligible due to active insurance coverage the month before. I'll pause there. Does that make sense? Heads up and down? Okay. And then everyone's talked about different timing. We want to have your application 60 days in advance of the date that you're thinking you're going to retire. Okay? The application is one page. Here's the cost for it right now. And when you see these costs, these are on a composite basis. That means it covers 1, it covers 10. All of your eligible dependents. We're talking pre-Medicare only at this point, all right? So Medicare is going to be a different ballgame, and I'll walk through how that kind of stages down. So if you retire at age 60, you're going to pay $200. That's for medical and prescription drug. If you want to add in the dental and vision, it's $155 in addition to that. That is covering you and all of your non-Medicare dependents. Exactly. Yeah. So if you retired at age 60 and you wanted dental and vision, you're looking at $354.95 a month. Same exact benefits, guys, that you have as an active. The only thing that's different in the benefit structure is once you retire, there's no life insurance or short-term disability. you're retired at that point. Yeah. This is family. Yep, so composite means family. Yep, good question. So another hand. Yeah. You have to take it at the time. Yep, you can't opt out of it. Once you retire, let's say you retire at age 50, you don't get to step down and pay $250 once you get to 55. You lock in. Right? So it's the age at retirement. I'll note that these rates haven't changed since 2016, probably the last time we were out here talking to you. My bet is they'll probably go up a little bit. I don't know what, I don't know when. My medical costs don't seem to go down. I know you guys hear it in the news.
I just called and it was 311.
Could have been survived, what, 311? Are you talking about Medicare plan, maybe? Which?
I just called a couple of weeks ago, and this was that,
This is like a year ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, these rates went in, I believe, I think it was the beginning of 16, if I'm not mistaken. So January 16, I think, is when these were effective.
But you said 311, you think I had 311.
You could, yeah, depending on your age, when you add in the 154, you're probably getting, oh, you'd be close, not exactly though. Was there another question I saw hand up? This one? No. So once, here's the question. So nobody turns 65 on the same day that husband and wife or spouses, right? That's generally doesn't happen. So there's going to be a 1 over 100 situation. Whenever the member retires and gets to Medicare eligibility, his non-Medicare dependents go at the same time. They're not allowed to continue coverage under this plan except for paying COBRA. COBRA is, I think, $1,500 a month right now. Yep.
If you have a child that's less than 26 on your plan, and you get, ask for the member, if you hit Medicare at 65,
Yep.
is that child still covered under that plan?
No. No, any non-Medicare dependents, once the retiree gets to 65, any non-Medicare dependents, their coverage terminates on the same date as that Medicare entitlement of the retiree. The non-Medicare dependents have one option to continue coverage under the plan, and that's through COBRA. That's a COBRA qualifying event.
And that's paid through Wilson McShane as well?
You would pay COBRA to Wilson McShane. Yes.
okay, so I'm full-time and he's part-time.
Okay?
I go to Medicare age a year before he does, we had this question earlier. Under the part-time, if I would have been part-time, he would have been covered even though I went to Medicare, and under this, he's gonna get dropped.
Separate plans, exactly.
So, he's gonna have to get his own plan under the part-time. Alright,
Yep.
alright,
Yeah.
alright.
Yes.
What happens if the retiree dies? Can the spouse carry the insurance?
Yes.
And at what rate?
Good question. So the question was, pre-Medicare retiree passes away, what's available to the surviving spouse to continue benefits, correct?
Right.
Yes, I didn't bring those rates with me, I can get them for you, but there is an option for you, and it's not full COBRA, it is reduced.
Okay.
And I can give it to you after.
Okay.
No, I just didn't put them up here. Yes, sir?
If you have an older spouse, they're got 65.
Yes, and I can talk through there. We do have a preferred Medicare supplement plan that we work with Blue Cross on, it's called Senior Gold, and we would want to get your spouse over there if it's the right plan for your spouse. We don't sell it, we act as a conduit to get you over there. Yep.
What's the rate for the COBRA? You know, like say I turn 65 and my wife, is up to 65.
Yep.
What would be the rate that we would have to pay?
Got it. The question is, in the 1 over 1 under situation, the retiree 65, what is that COBRA rate if you want to continue for your non-Medicare spouse? Is that correct? Right now it's about $1,500 a month. Now, so COBRA is actually calculated by, there's a law that comes out that says how you calculate COBRA, and it's the actual cost of coverage under the plan. So once a year, the fund actuary comes up, looks at the experience of the plan, looks at the income and the expenses, and does the math. And that's the actual true unsubsidized cost of the plan, and that's what COBRA gets calculated at. Yes?
Pre-Medicare, how long?
Until their 26th birthday. Yep. Another hand.
That COBRA will cover your spouse and child?
That's correct. That's correct. Another? Yep.
I
I'm younger than him, goes on Medicare, I can buy the supplement, and then I'll start
Yeah, no, so everything is dictated upon your qualifying date into Medicare. So you're 1 year older? Younger. So when the retiree turns 65, let's say the retiree turns 65 on January 1st of 2020. Okay? The question is, when is the non-Medicare spouse going to lose coverage, and what options do you have? So you're going to lose coverage on January 1st as well. Your option is to pay COBRA to maintain the coverage here. If you don't do that, you go somewhere else for insurance coverage. Can you get the senior gold plan? Was that the yes, so Blue Cross Blue Shield sells this as a plan. It's nothing that's self-insured like your insurance is currently. You could be working at Cub or working at anywhere else and go buy senior gold. Okay? Good? Yeah.
What's the premium, or can you keep the retiree insurance?
Yes. Yeah, the question,
Double coverage?
if the part-time individual gets insurance coverage because of that part-time employment status, that would be his primary plan.
And this is like,
It would.
Right.
Yep. So the question is, the guy retires, goes back to work and gets other insurance coverage. Do the plans coordinate from a primary, secondary? The answer is yes. You don't have to take the other plan. Yep. Good questions. Yeah, on the back.
If the retiree marries after, can the new spouse be put on?
Yep, okay, the question was, retiree gets married after he or she's commenced his retirement benefit, can they add a spouse? The answer is yes, as long as they're pre-Medicare. Yep, eligible dependents don't change under the planning. All right, the application process, what do you guys need to do when you want to retire, right? That's the big question. Typically, as you've heard, UPS lets us know. That's the general rule of thumb. The other thing to do is to call Wilson McShane. When in doubt, call Wilson McShane. Let us know that you're intended to retire. We have a retiree application that you'll complete with us. It's literally 1 page. And all of your eligible dependents, they will automatically carry over. You don't have to re-enroll your spouse or your dependent children. That automatically carries over into retiree status. The last thing is you got to select how you're going to pay us. We really like it if you do it via an ACH. That way we're not having to deal with mail system, checks getting lost, lapses of coverage. So we like you to do that. This is what the letter looks like that we'll send you. This is what, when UPS lets us know that you're getting ready to retire, we will send this out to you automatically. It's just a cover letter saying we've been notified you're looking to retire. Get a copy of your retirement award letter and send that in. It's minuscule, but here's the application that I'm talking about. You do need to sign it, so this is one of those things, I think Jared from UPS said this earlier, we got to have a wet signature, so we don't put this online because of that. And then down here, you just select which plan you want. So these are the different age brackets, and then whether you want dental or vision with it. Questions right now, the actual process. Yes,
The
sir.
applicant, you need it 60 days before you retire, but how are you gonna get the thing from UPS, because you don't notify them before like 60 to 90 days?
I think they have an actual advance requirement too that you have to notify them. I think they said 30 to 90 days in advance of your retirement with
So
them.
you'd have enough time to...
60 to 90. So same type of advance, letting us know. Yep. Yes.
If you don't take the dental eye right away, can you sign up for it later?
If you do not take dental and vision at the time of retirement, can you get it later? The answer is no.
Okay.
Yep. For Wilson McShane? It's at the end, you'll have it. Yep. And this is what the ACH debit authorization form looks like. This is where you dedicate your financial institution, which account you want us to draw that premium from on a monthly basis. Highly encourage this. All right. The retiree plan does have what's called a temporary opt-out and opt-in provision. So at the time that you retire, let's say you're married, right? Spouse has other insurance coverage that you can get on for maybe little to no cost. Why would you pay the Teamster retiree premium when you could pay lesser coverage there, right? Plan understands that. Plan allows you to opt out of coverage. So at the time of retirement, you already have other insurance coverage lined up. You want to temporarily opt out. Completely fine. You can also come back in at the loss of that other coverage. You've got a couple obligations to do from a timing standpoint. there's an opt-out form that that we have for you. And then once you, this is well played, well played. So the opt-out is it's a one-page form if you're going to opt out at the time of retirement. If you want to opt back in, you have to do so within 30 days of the loss of the other coverage. Okay, so that'll make sense for timing. Make sure you get to me within 30 days. If it's 31, that's a real bright line in the sand for us. And all you need to do is just contact Wilson McShane and provide proof that your other coverage is lapsing. You used to get what's called a certificate of credible coverage from that other insurance. You can still get that from your other insurance plans. Questions on the opt-out, opt-in provisions? No, not as long as you're still pre-Medicare by the time you opt back in. Opt back in before age 65. Yep. Good? Yes, in the back.
What if you have a situation where I say you're a year into retirement, can you opt out then?
No. The option is just at the time of retirement. Everyone heard that question was, can you opt out or opt in at any other time besides your initial eligibility date? No. All right, so what's covered? It's the exact same coverage that you have as an active employee right now. Same medical, same prescription drug, and if you want to add the dental and vision, it would be the exact same program. Same networks, same doctors, you don't change a thing. Yes, sir?
I just had a quick question.
Yep.
I'm retired from the military reserves, and I'll be getting coverage from them when I turn 60, so I can still opt out after I get that coverage though?
Yes.
Okay.
You got VA insurance, you're saying?
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
get VA insurance.
Yep, good question.
Okay.
The only benefit changes that retirees don't have as actives are the life insurance and the loss of time, the short-term disability. You're retired at that point, so there's no short-term disability benefits. I did put in a summary of benefits, so you guys should each have one of these. It's an eye test, I get it. But nothing changes from a deductible, out-of-pocket. This is all the exact same. So you're not having to relearn a new benefit schedule. You will get a new you'll get a new medical ID card when you retire, because you're coded differently in our system than Blue Cross's system. You're now a retiree and not an active. That's the only difference. I'll skip through this unless there's any specific plan benefit questions. All right, so we've already kind of alluded to this, is when does my retiree insurance terminate? Well, if you fail to make a premium to Wilson McShane on a timely basis, your coverage is going to lapse and terminate. Pay before the month of coverage. If you go back to work as an active member for your employer, your coverage will terminate as a retiree. If you go back to work at UPS and get recovered, your retiree plan is going to suspend at that point. All right, the day before your Medicare effective date will be your termination date. That's what we've been talking about. You transition from active employment to non-Medicare retiree to Medicare retiree. Once you get to Medicare, that's when the coverage terminates. There are limited exceptions to that, and it has to do with Social Security disability pre-65, where federal law requires group health plans maintain primary insurance coverage. But it's temporary, and it doesn't last up until you're 65. Yes. Yeah, the day before you turn 65. So the question we've had a lot is, what happens to my non-Medicare dependents since I'm going to Medicare? They can pay COBRA under the plan, otherwise they have to go find other insurance coverage. Yes, sir?
What about if you work the Christmas rush as a retiree, come back and work that 6-7 week period? How much that work with insurance?
I don't think you're going to be covered there. I don't think UPS is going to cover. You won't be covered under UPS there.
Yep. I'll still be covered under the retiree program.
That's correct. Okay, so when you get to Medicare status, this is the next transition we're talking about, right? You went from active, you filled out your application to Wilson McShane, you had non-Medicare insurance. Now you're turning 65 and you're feeling like the Viking getting pushed out to sea, right? Wrong. So Blue Cross Blue Shield partners with the Teamsters here to offer their supplemental insurance plan called Senior Gold. You've probably seen it, you've probably heard about it. Senior Gold is a supplemental insurance plan, so you still maintain your Medicare Part A and Part B rights. It's not an Advantage plan, there's a difference there. So when you go to the doctor, you produce your Medicare card first and say, that's my primary insurance, and here's my secondary, my supplemental, bill them second. To sign up for that, the plan's gonna send you a letter 90 days in advance of your 65th birthday. You're gonna be getting, your mailbox, when you come home and you're 90 days out, you open up your mailbox, it's gonna fall out full of stuffers. Humana, United Health, AARP, SICK, you name it, they're looking for you. Here's what I would recommend. I'm not a broker, I don't sell insurance, okay? You gotta find out what's best for you. I don't know your medical conditions better than you do. I don't know your doctors better than you do. The thing about Senior Gold is it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, so it's the exact same network. You're not having to find new providers. You stay in that same network. And as far as selecting, this is the letter that we'll send you. The cost right now for Senior Gold is $322.50. You can pay that to Wilson McShane and we just send that to Blue Cross. Right? We're not going to pay your claim anymore. We're not going to send you an EOB. We're just going to serve as a conduit if you'd like. So you don't have to set up new payment instructions to Blue Cross. We can maintain that for you. Okay? That $322.50 is splitting two different benefits. One is the actual medical insurance part. That's $204 a month. The other part is your prescription drug benefit, which is $118. So when you get to Medicare, Medicare Part A comes free to you at your hospital. Part B does not come free and it's going to cost you. It's going to cost, I think it's about $135 a month right now. They're going to want to take that directly from your Social Security check. You need Part B to enroll into any of these supplemental plans, so don't miss your Part B enrollment. Okay? So I'm the Medicare retiree, I'm 65, I'm going to be out my $135.50 for Part B, plus my $322.50 for my sup and my prescription drug. Some other guys are quicker at math than me, but you know, $450 or so. Close. Not bad. Right? Now you know your medical costs. You're done. You're going to have a really minimal deductible on both of those plans. Questions? I'm going to pause it. That's a lot of information, kind of a fire hose. Yes, ma'am.
So that amount is as of today.
Yep.
If you turn 65 in 4 years, that could possibly go up.
It could possibly go up. I would venture to say it will go up. Just, we know the world we live in. I think 3 years ago when we were out here, I think the cost was about $300.50. So we're not talking $60 increments. We're talking, 2%, 3% kind of increments. Yes, sir. Yep. That's just for you, the Medicare retiree. So when your spouse gets over 65 at the same time, she's also looking at the same exact cost. Yep, that's a per person cost. Yep. Part B, they're going to withhold automatically from your Social Security check. When I say they, I'm talking Social Security Administration. Right, I was trying to give you the gross total out of pocket you're paying for your medical insurance once you get to Medicare age. Exactly right. I saw a hand over here, I thought. Yes, sir.
Does that include dental?
There's no dental insurance in the Senior Gold. It's medical and prescription drug only. If you're looking for a vision or a dental benefit, you got to call the insurance directly, the Delta Dentals directly. Yep. Yes.
What happens security till you're 72?
You still have to pay for Part B out of the check then.
But then it would just be automatic.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Is that pay 100% then, or is it like 80/20 or what is it?
Which plan? So Medicare Part A and Part B are going to generally pay 80% of the allowed expenses that come through. Your supplement's going to pay 100% of the balance. That 20% that Medicare didn't pay. You're going to have a small deductible. Off the top of my head, I don't recall what it is with Senior Gold right now. It's like 100, I think, to be honest. 100-ish. Good question. Yes?
Will this be something that you'll re-choose every year, or you can, 1 year, not the next?
Yes. So you hear a lot of times you see the TV commercials advising of Medicare's open enrollment period. Some of these Medicare supplemental plans get discontinued. I think Blue Cross had one discontinued, frankly, 2 years ago, I think it was. But you do need to re-enroll on an annual basis into them.
Don't enroll in this one, the next year.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Good questions. Yep.
Are there situations on a re-enrollment where they might not accept?
As long as you've maintained your A and B, I don't think legally they're able to not accept you. Yep. Don't, you have to keep that B premium up though. Other questions, kind of understanding? Yep.
So, let's say you decide to retire and you have reached your deductible of $500. And you go on your retirement, you have to go and
Are you satisfied? Yeah, the question was, you retire, you're an active participant right now, you've already satisfied your deductible and it's mid-year, you then transition to the pre-Medicare plan. Do you need to re-satisfy your deductible? The answer is no. No. It's not a new deductible starting over for you until the next calendar year. And this plan has a kind of a neat feature. It's called deductible rollover. So the expenses that you incurred in the fourth quarter that went towards your individual deductible, if you already met it back in May, then this doesn't apply. But if you went to the doctor late in 2019, in this last quarter, and all of it went toward the deductible, the plan says we don't need you to go through that again. We're going to put this and apply it towards your next year's deductible as well. It's called fourth quarter rollover deductible carryover. This is, yeah, this would only be when you're still pre-Medicare. Yep. Yeah, as soon as you leave that, deductibles get reset when you go to a different provider. Yeah. Good question. The question is, what's Part A versus Part B for Medicare? Part A is automatic at your 65th birthday, and it covers all your hospital expenses. Part B is not free to you, and that's for your physician and clinical services. Yep. All right. So good question, by the way, guys. Thank you for these. We've kind of talked about the transition, going from active to non-Medicare to Medicare. Any lingering questions there? All the way in the back. Yep.
What's the cap yearly
The cap on which plan?
for the retiree and for the senior gold?
Senior gold, I don't know. You're talking like an annual out-of-pocket maximum? That I'm not sure of. The plan's annual out-of-pocket maximum.
No, the maximum.
Maximum coverage, like $1,250,000.
There is no cap on the active and the pre-Medicare plan. There's no cap.
Okay.
We're subject to different requirements. So there's no lifetime maximums, there's no annual maximums. That's different than teen care. So good observation. Yeah, there's no maximums here. And I don't know about senior gold, frankly. I don't administer it.
Thank you.
What happens if your spouse is on Medicare right now and you haven't retired yet and you retire? She's not at 65 yet.
Yep, good question. The question is, the member is still working, he's an active individual, and the spouse is already on Medicare. She stays on, or he stays on, your spouse stays on despite the Medicare status because you're an active employee. The day that you retire, that changes. Now you're a retired employee and the spouse who's Medicare now goes off the plan or has COBRA rights.